welcome to a podcast about all things casting for actors or those who want to be an actor, and maybe for those who work in the industry and are smart enough to learn all parts of the biz. This is The Casting Curtain. Hi, my name is Sally Forcier, and I'm a casting director, producer, and acting coach, and have been in the biz for over 25 years. Now let's get started. Hey guys, it's Sally Forcier with Forcier Casting and Productions. We are here to talk about Snow White. What is going on? I got Miranda Forcier, Haley Warda. We just want to talk about this. This is crazy in the news. Totally trending, totally shocking. I am obviously older than these little girls, but I grew up watching Snow White, and to see what's happened with this project is crazy. You want to give us a recap?
Yeah, so basically, short recap, Disney is making the live action remake of Snow White starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot. Zegler's recently been in hot water from Disney Purist. She's 22 years old. She made some remarks stating that she only watched the original film once because she was scared. She's not going to do what they did in the original one. This time she's making her own version. It's no longer 1937. She's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about the leader she can be. And she also made a remark about her co-star and maybe his scenes will be cut.
What? Are you serious? Oh. That's a huge no-no, by the way. I think that goes without saying.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Miranda?
Oh, it's hard to hear this. I mean, she is only 22, but I don't know. It almost feels like maybe she either doesn't know better or she's getting swept up in some other perspectives. I don't know. I feel bad for her.
I could see that, and I know
ruin everything.
She's gonna ruin everything. Her whole career has got to be on the line, just from my perspective as a producer and a casting director. Because what I would argue with that would be, and I think Haley knows too, from the perspective of a casting director, why didn't some of those concerns come up in the casting process? So that's a note for you guys. Maybe if you have hesitations or don't really like the story or don't believe in it, part of your job as an actor is to go all the way through to the promotion process. So I feel like she should have some people around her to give her direction and or shared those concerns in casting.
Exactly. And if she feels so heavy about this brand needs a change, should that have come up sooner? And if that had, then I don't think Disney would be stalling
100%.
or canceling.
I mean, what do you think, Haley?
I think she brought up valid concerns, and I understand her passion around wanting to modernize Snow White.
True.
I think she could have just done it in a more respectful
way.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, is this going to blacklist her?
No. Oh yeah, blacklist. That's a whole thing. Now,
it's pretty heavy.
I have to say, blacklist is not really a totally official thing, right? We know that, but you guys may not know that. But the reality is we don't have a blacklist universal that we share with everybody. But it's the obvious, how in casting can we sell you in if we know you have these challenges or opinions, strong opinions? Because I think in our world, there's so many reasons why people become unappealing to cast. And in a studio situation like Disney, they have to think all the way through to how are we going to, she going to be behind us and do the marketing.
Right.
It's kind of like the gal in Precious. She kind of got blacklisted because she didn't go through the promotional process like she should have, even though it was an Academy Award winning film. And so many other people have been blacklisted. So there's experiences that we've all had in casting on set. These ladies also work on set. They're also actors, that we have learned what not to do, which we'll share later in another video on what blacklist things can happen to your career. Right. But I'm really concerned about her. I don't know that she's going to be able to work in this industry again. I honestly don't.
I have to ask you, Sally, from your perspective, do you think the casting directors are looking at what happened with the promotion and regretting casting her?
100%. Why? We're only all good as our last job.
So true.
That goes for you too, watching. As an actor, as a crew member, we're all only as good as our last job. So if I sold her in she'll be phenomenal. Oh my, it's like me saying, okay, Miranda's going to be terrific. Doesn't matter, she's my daughter, but but she's amazing. She's got good attitude. She got this, she got that. And if she showed up on set and didn't have a good attitude and mistreated other cast members, making comments that were out of line or being insensitive to topics,
and your reputation is on the line.
it looks bad on me.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Exactly.
I have to agree. And in casting, have you had any experiences, Haley, that you noticed were concern that you had to bring up to the client?
Yeah. I think there's been instances where we're beginning to go through the callback process. So maybe we don't have the self-tape we want to send into the client. And so we're giving the actor notes and adjustments. And maybe the actor's beginning to kind of be a little stubborn and push back, not take the notes we're given. And at that point, I think immediately a red flag goes up, because if they're not willing to work with us and take our direction, we don't feel comfortable handing them over to a director.
Because it would affect our reputation.
Exactly. And it would affect the production, which ultimately we're all vying for each production we work on to just shine.
Right.
So that's why we work so many crazy hours. And I think an actor, this could be part of our next conversation when we talk about do's and don'ts, but this could be a good do of, listen, there she's taken time to work with that actor to give you notes. She doesn't have to, and I know a lot of you actors out there watching would agree, you don't necessarily always get feedback. I mean, we hear that all the time. Do you have any feedback? And the reality is if you are getting feedback, that's a good thing.
Yes.
So what, you have to get your yes, and if you have to get your camera and your light out again and put your makeup on, ladies, then so be it. It's an opportunity for you to win, because we're vying for and I'm sure you were with this person, is like, we want you to look good.
Yeah.
Right.
So here's the notes that they gave. Yes, this is the third ask. That's like a third callback. I know people, we know people who've auditioned 10, 12 times for a major film and had a bit part. Right? So that's part of the job.
Right, yeah. So going back to Snow White, how do you think she should have promoted it? Because promoting, especially as a lead, part of your role is not only being the lead, but you also have to promote it because you're kind of the face, right?
Yeah.
So like this is a not so great road she's going down. So what do you think she should have done to have a better
Good
outcome?
question. I think a lot of actors, especially at that level, should have a team.
Yeah.
Okay? And the team should sit down with her and perhaps write notes out and a guideline and an outline of what not to say. Now,
Mock interviews.
a mock interview. What is that? Is that called like an acting class kind of?
Or an acting coaching session.
So we do provide that, by the way. But when it comes to PR, there is always a big studio has a PR team. They usually give you talking points.
Right.
And then you want to practice with your team, whether it's your manager, your agent, your acting coach, and just say, I want to just run through this, because it is very nerve-wracking to be on a red carpet at the Disney 23
and at the age of
Expo.
22,
Yes.
she was probably scared to death.
Yeah, so we do empathize with her, but we also know, unfortunately, it's looking bleak for her career.
Yeah.
That's
The
right.
film has since been pushed back, and then there's even rumor that they might pull it. So
I've never heard of Disney pulling a movie. Have you guys?
No.
I mean, I may be wrong, but I've never heard of it. The other thing we were going to talk about next is what is blacklisting, and there's some stories we could share. I mean, I think Brendan Fraser is one of my favorite stories about that. It's like he got blacklisted because of no wrong he did. So I'm not going to say, it's always going to fall on you, but he actually reported sexual harassment. And as coming from a man, it was frowned upon in Hollywood. And again, this is 2 decades ago. So kudos to him for the well and the job that he did for coming back, especially in such a great role. But there are roles out, there's situations that happen with blacklisting. And I'm hoping this doesn't happen to her. I really do. And I love Gal Gadot and I love Snow White, but don't talk bad about the story. Don't talk bad about other actors. In fact, one of the other things we'll talk about is how to behave on set. I say behave, but I'm just saying it really comes down to common sense, doesn't it?
Etiquette, yeah. Oh yeah, common sense, but
Yes.
not everybody has the same common sense.
And to me, respect. I think when you have respect for the opportunities you have, right? You have respect for your casting director who's helping you get across the finish line.
And for the story. You have to be passionate about the story
100%.
and the original story as well, too, and respect the artists who came before you and their work.
And I think if you know the lane you're supposed to be in, it is part of the job.
Right.
It doesn't end when we wrap, when we do a picture wrap, that doesn't end your job as an actor. Your job is to go on and promote it. But I think there are some films that are doing such a great job with promoting their film, some actors. I mean, we're a huge fan of Greta Gerwig. Greta, Sacramento girl. We are based in Northern California, so we love Greta. We're super proud of her with Barbie. I mean, we've been big fans of her work, all of her work, Little Women, Lady Bird. But Barbie has gotten such huge accolades, and I have to say, I'm really proud of the promotion they're doing.
Oh, for sure. And you look at Barbie, and it's a very controversial figure. And I, before seeing the film, I was very hesitant. I'm like, how are they going to tackle this, right? But you look at Margot Robbie and the promotion that she did for Barbie, and she is passionate about the film. She has nothing but praise for her fellow co-stars. And they modernized Barbie at the same time. So I think that was Snow White, the goal of Snow White. They just missed it a little bit.
So that just goes to show you, it is a collaboration. Everybody has to do all the promotion. And I'm really proud of my team. I have to mention No Address. We just wrapped a film about the homeless and those people experiencing homelessness and how they survive. And our team that Robert Craig Films has put together has such a beautiful promotion package. We haven't gotten to the point where we're doing all of our interviews with the actors yet, but just the social media representation. So be careful what you put on social. We do look, and we're going to talk about that in our next video of the do's and don'ts and the possible blacklisting. What you don't want to put on your social channels if you're trying to be careful of not getting on that bad list, because we do look at the social channels.
And I mean, no matter what industry you're in, really, but definitely creating a movie, there's always going to be challenging lessons learned. There's always going to be challenging people to work with, maybe things that you didn't like. But what all that matters is that everybody comes together, right? Does their best, has respect for one another, and makes it the best it possibly can. Putting anyone down is not going to solve any issues. It's just going to raise more flags.
And that's a basic life lesson. Don't talk poorly about anybody. What did Mama used to say? If nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
Don't say it at all.
But I'd like to say, by the way, we're just a Zoom call away, guys. If you need anything, consulting, coaching, whatnot, this team right here is 100% available for you. Doesn't matter where you live, we're here to help get you across the finish line, because in the end, in casting, we all work together. I produce, so I also can coach on that level, what to experience on the set, how to understand what the production team expects from you. That's a good one. So tune into our next videos, but I want to say thank you guys for being here. We had a blast. Thank you, girls. These girls are so gorgeous. And make your day count and follow your dreams. You have one chance. Give it your best.
That's right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
And we'll see you on the big screen. Woo!